in episode 134.
Something I did not want my parents to find out about because I was kind of ashamed of it. But those first clothes that I ordered were, I put them on and it was just an amazing experience. It was like that moment of just like, oh my God, I love this. This is just amazing. She just walked into my room and was like, here's this eyeliner that I don't use. You can have it. And it was just something that she just walked in and handed to me. And I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, all right. I have someone in my corner. And I, started the makeup process and I finished it. I got to the very end. And just as I finished, I hear the door downstairs open. And I rush and I just quickly take everything off because I'm like, oh no, someone's home from work. My day's over at this point.
Welcome to the CrossYaas Podcast, the podcast that still says yes to everything related to cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender. Giselle Mirasol is my name, and I cross-dress sometimes. I consider myself transgender under the transgender umbrella, and I'll be your host and guide into this sometimes scary but always exciting world of cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender. Help support the podcast by going to our website, CrossYaas Podcast.com, and click on our Patreon link so you can enjoy some of the bonus extra stuff. You can also chat with me, Sierra, Lilly, and other wonderful members of the CrossYaas community on our CrossYaas confidential Discord, which is also available on our website for even more support. And finally, if you enjoyed Lily's story and have your own personal story that's cross-dressing, sexuality, and or gender-related, but you're like, I don't think anyone cares about what I have to say, and you're probably second-guessing yourself and thinking, wait, does someone really want to hear my story? Well, duh, you know me and you know this podcast. The answer is obviously aloud. Frickin'
yes!
Hit me up, Giselle, at CrossYaasPodcast.com, DM me on Instagram at CrossYaasPodcast, or chat me up on Discord, Rochi_Mochi, #7325. Can't wait to hear from you. Back again with another CrossYaas conversation for you, you wonderful CrossYaas listener. And while people have been coming out of the woodworks to be guests on this podcast, which is a double-edged sword for me. It's a double-edged sword because, well, it means less me, and, well, you know how much you love me. Haha, just kidding. But honestly, less me is a great thing for me and this podcast, because less me means way more of you, the CrossYaas listener, which is ultimately a goal of this podcast, because this podcast isn't about me. Well, not anymore. Those first couple episodes when I first started, which was obviously about me telling my story, but today this podcast has evolved to more than just me and becoming more about you, again, the wonderful CrossYaas listener. And I'm here to celebrate you. I'm here for you and your cross-dressing /sexuality/gender journey. And again, if you haven't shared your story yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? Do it. Hit me up, Giselle, at CrossYaasPodcast.com. Again, DM me on Instagram at CrossYaasPodcast, or chat with me and other wonderful CrossYaas listeners on our Discord, because I'll be there for you, Sierra will be there for you, and today's guest, Lilly, will be there for you as well.
I'll be there for you, 'cause you're there for me too.
Today's episode is pretty special because if you go to our CrossYaas Podcast YouTube page, by going to our website or just Googling us, YouTube CrossYaas Podcast, then I'm sorry I have to do this, but if you could, and this is super cliche, if you could like and subscribe to our YouTube page, that would be great. Not just for us, but for you as well. It helps us get the YouTube name because I guess you need 100 subscribers, and as of this recording, we're only at 54. So if we can get to 100, we can make it a lot easier for other people to find us on YouTube. Anyways, this specific episode is actually our first public video recording episode. And I had the pleasure of having a CrossYaas conversation with Lilly on like a Zoom video call kind of thing with Lilly, who is our long-standing video editor, where we're actually both dressed. Lilly, for those who don't know, is a member of the CrossYaas podcast production team, and she's our video editor-in-chief. I think that's a thing. And well, you can find her on her public Instagram page under the name Lilly S. Flight. That's spelled LILLYSFLYTE. Again, that's LILLYSFLYTE. and I enjoyed chatting it up with Lilly as we talked about so much, including how she came out to her family members. We talked a little bit about her fashion sense and even her fears about the impact her gender might have for her future. We discussed that and a whole lot more, and I can't wait for you, the CrossYaas listener, to hear it and see it if you go to our YouTube page. Again, like and subscribe on our YouTube page so we can change our name to youtube.com/CrossYaas. But I'll shut up and get to today's episode so you can hear Lilly and my curious conversation with her. Enjoy. Yes, it's Lilly. You guys, we have Lilly here. Yes.
Hello.
Well, yay, Lily's first time ever on the podcast. Kind of, I guess.
I'd say kind of.
Yeah, kind of. We're super excited. Welcome, Lilly, to the CrossYaas Podcast for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone else. Yes, we have Lilly. Lilly.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes. How are you today, Lilly? Do you want to...
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah. Just it's been sort of a busy and lazy day, so a good balance. Yeah, just getting up late and then kind of spontaneous plans. I went and I saw Billy. We got lunch together. So then I came back and I fell asleep, and that's why I was late. I took a nap and realized that it was time to get ready like an hour ago. So that's why I'm a bit late.
That's fine. We are happy to have you here. Better late than never, and it's been so long. You've been such a big part of the podcast, like in the background, sort of, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden now you're at the forefront. This is our first ever video that we're actually going to post on YouTube, and we're super excited.
I'm super excited about it.
Yes. Yeah, Lily's our video editor anyway, so she's going to edit all this out if she wants.
Yep.
So she's like, I don't like this part. No, we're going to take that out. But Lilly, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Lilly, introduce yourself to the people out here. Who are you? What are you doing here?
My name is Lilly. I am 24 years old and I am gender fluid. Transgender. I mean, it, on that scale spectrum, I guess. But yeah, I started dressing up and experimenting with gender maybe about 4 years ago, around there, and just keep taking it one step further and further as time has gone on, to the point where I came out to my parents about maybe 2 months ago. And yeah, so I'm kind of blossoming, really, as far as like figuring out who I am.
Yes. Do you want to start all the way back, Lilly? Tell us about your origin superhero story.
Oh, well, okay.
How did that start?
My origin super story, I guess it started like way back when I was like maybe 8 years old. And my sister, I have a younger sister, and at the time she was really into the Disney princesses, and so she had all these, Disney princess dresses that my parents would buy for her. And I don't know, one day, for some reason, it kind of just stuck in my head, and I just had to ask this question to my mom. Why can't I have a dress? Can you make me a dress, Mom? And she kind of was probably taken aback by that question, but she answered pretty nicely and was like, well, I'll make you one, yeah. And then we kind of talked about it a little bit, but she never actually made me the dress, and so I kept asking over a couple maybe weeks, until I think at one point she was just like, you know what? Instead of making a dress for you, I will just let you use one of my dresses. And so she let me go into her closet, and I got dressed up in a dress, and I was really young, and it was a little ridiculous looking, but yeah, that was the first time I dressed up. And the best part is that it is all captured on home video. So that is a tape that exists somewhere. Yeah.
You don't have it, though. We don't know where it is.
I could find it. Not that I would want to show it, but I could find it. I've watched it a couple times, actually. Sometimes, the family will sit down and we'll watch old home videos, and that one's come up before. And that was before I came out to them. So it was super awkward sitting on the couch going, yeah, that's a thing that happened in the past. Don't know, never would come up again. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's little. I guess that's how I got started. Um, I had that experience, and then afterwards, I'd say like I don't know, maybe like 5, 6 years went by, and I was kind of nothing happened during that period of time. I kind of like had my opportunity, and then that was it. And it was like, okay. And then it was only later on that I kind of thought about it and realized that was not a normal thing to ask my mom if she could get me a dress or she could make me a dress. That was something that not a lot of boys would do my age. So that was, I guess, in a lot of ways, I was like, okay, all right, I gotta be quiet about this. This is not something that's normal. So that kind of just disappeared into the background for many years, and then slowly it started coming up in my mind again. And I always thought like, it's interesting, but whatever, push it aside. It's just a weird thing about me, a little quirk about me. Um, and then that went on for many years until like about 4 years ago, where I kind of just decided, you know what, this is something that I've thought about for so many years that if I don't do anything about it, I'm going to regret it. So I hopped on Amazon and I ordered my first clothes. And that was a process. Being sneaky about it was like the biggest thing because it was like something I did not want my parents to find out about because I was kind of ashamed of it. Um, but those first clothes that I ordered were, I put them on and it was just an amazing experience. It was like that moment of just like, oh my God, I love this. This is just amazing. And 4 years later, I mean, here I am. Came out to my parents as gender fluid and have my own wardrobe, my own closet full of clothes. It's actually completely full now, and I don't have any room unless I start throwing away other clothes, which I don't think I want to do yet. So yeah, that's kind of like the basic idea of my journey.
Yes. And I think we as the podcast have been there for your journey. Like when we first started these video Discord chats, you were the quietest, like reserved, like girl in the corner that you couldn't even talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Because you weren't even open about it, but you would love, you're trying your best to just be a part of the community. But we would be like, oh, Lily's here. You'd be like,
Yeah.
like, why is Lily so quiet?
Literally the quietest one because I would mute my microphone because I didn't want to talk because my parents or my sister might hear me, and that was just too terrifying of a thought. So I just muted the microphone, just waved, said, like occasionally whispered into the microphone, or mostly I typed out what I wanted to say. But yeah.
And so you came out to your parents. What was that like? You want to talk about that? Because that was
That
a
was
story in itself.
That was an ordeal. Nothing terrible, but I came out to my mom first, and at the time I came out as a crossdresser because that's just kind of where I was in how I identified. So I came out to her first. This was about over a year ago. And she was really confused and just had no idea, no concept about what cross-dressing was or like anything related to gender. So I kind of held back when I came out to her. I did the initial like, hey, I've been wanting to say this for a long time. I'm a cross-dresser. It's like a hobby that I do. And she immediately was very confused. And so I didn't mention, the makeup or, just all the clothes that I had bought or, some of the friends I had made online. I just kind of I wanted to keep it simple for her. And yeah, she had a hard time with it. And I asked her to keep it a secret from the rest of my family. And I know that was very hard on her. She struggled with that because she really wanted to just have someone to talk to about it other than me. So that was difficult for her. The next person I came out to was my sister. Like 6 months later, I just was in the car with her and I was like, hey, there's something I want to tell you about. And at this point, how I identified had changed. I had kind of grown from, oh, I'm just a cross-dresser to, well, no, this is a little bit more than that. This is kind of just a part of who I am. And it changes every now and then. So some days I feel differently. So I had kind of settled in at gender fluid at that point. So I came out to her as gender fluid. And she had a good reaction. She was really supportive. She was really interested. She asked to see pictures. And so I showed her and she was like, oh, wow, your makeup's really good. It's better than mine. And I was like, oh, thank you. I mean, not to...
It's very good. It's very good.
I'm not bragging.
It's very good, Lily. You have no need to... Yeah, sure. Okay.
I swear. Oh, my goodness. But yeah... yeah, she reacted pretty well. And like I had mentioned that my eyeliner had dried up and I didn't have any more eyeliner. And so the next day she just walked into my room and was like, here's this eyeliner that I don't use. You can have it. And it was just something that she just walked in and handed to me. And I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, all right. I have someone in my corner. And then, yeah, about maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, I decided, you know what, it's time. I'm going to come out to my dad, and I'm also going to re-come out to my mom because, as I said, things had changed. So I came out to them again, or to her again, and then I came out to my dad, and there was a lot of emotions there, obviously. Love and support from my parents because they couldn't care what I did. They'd always love and support me, but it was difficult for them to understand. They'd never really dealt with anything related to gender or sexuality. So that was a difficult conversation, and I don't know. It's still something that's progressing because it's only been a month and a half, 2 months. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, it's a lot of worry right now. And it's a little bit of a struggle, but nothing dramatic, like nothing like, oh, get out of the house or, we're not going to support you. It's just more like, oh, we're worried about going to the wedding or something like that,
What's the worry though on your parents' side?
It's a worry of like the obvious, like, oh, we don't want you to get hurt or attacked or, had something negative said to you. But I'm sure it's also like, it's like, well, you don't want to go too far with it. You don't want to come out to too many people because that's like opening the box and then who knows what can happen. So I think that's part of it.
Huh. What is this box? Like, what is in this magical box? Like, what is there like joy in that box? Like, what are they?
I think
like, no, you don't want to be too happy.
They don't think there's joy in that box. They might think like a life of hardship and misunderstanding. And it's like, not really. I mean, those might exist, but there's definitely far more in opening the box. Lots of happiness and comfortability being myself with others and showing that. And I recently took my Instagram from private to public as like something as just a way of connecting with more people and just being myself.
Yeah. And are you happy that you're out there? I mean, it has been like 2 or 3 months since you come out to basically your entire immediate family. Yeah. And now that you're out, like, what's that like?
It's a little awkward, but I have so much more freedom to do what I want when I want. Like before, obviously, I would join the Discord video chats and I'd mute my mic and the camera would mostly be off all the time just because I was, I was afraid that, they'd hear or, they'd walk in, whatever. But now that's like, okay, that worry is gone. I took all my clothes, which I had packed away, hidden in secret spots, and I just filled half my closet with all my dresses and tops and skirts and all that. And then being able to go out and is one big thing that happened. Like, obviously I went to your wedding reception.
Yes.
That was so much
Yes.
fun. And that was not something I would have been able to do if I hadn't come out to them. And they didn't. My dad suspected that I went dressed up. I didn't like say it specifically, but it was kind of like implied. It was in the air. They could kind of guess that's what I was going to do. But yeah, I was able to have that experience. And I think the last big thing that's worth mentioning is that I was able to start laser hair removal on my facial hair. So, I mean, that was something that I had kind of set up as like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I want to be able to tell my family because this is such a big thing that I don't want this to be, you know, a big secret, you know, like something that I hide because, I mean, it's like trying to get rid of my facial hair. That's kind of big. That's kind of noticeable. Didn't want to be secretive about it. So yeah, coming out has opened that door for me, and it's opened a lot of other doors that I just haven't stepped through yet and I might not know about, but there's a lot of opportunity for me to be me. And that's, I think, the most exciting thing.
Yes, yes. What is in the cards then? Why did you go through laser hair removal? Are you thinking about transitioning? Is that a thing in the cards, or I don't know if that's something you thought about? Or...
Yeah, it's something that I've thought about for a long time, and I don't know if I'll ever transition. I'm not sure if it's something that's in the future for me. For me right now, at least, it's something that fluctuates. Like 75% of the time, I feel like, you know, like a guy, and then the other percentage of the time, I feel like a girl or a woman. I don't know. I mean, that's something that could change over time. And that's something that I've learned throughout my journey is that how I want to be myself has changed just dramatically in the last 4 years. And I don't know where I'm going to be at in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I know it'll change. I don't know where it's going to change or how it's going to change, but I know it's going to change. So transition might be something that's in my future, or it might not. And it's kind of like a coin toss at the moment as to what I want and what's going to happen. But, you know, it's something that I've thought about a lot.
Yeah. And when I say transition, I mean either medically transitioning or socially transitioning. I don't know if you're going to, you know, present as Lilly more of the time. You said 75% you enjoy as a man, but, you know, do you like to be more Lilly, you know, in public, or is it just like a, you know, occasional thing, or it's just weddings?
Just weddings, only weddings.
I
can, you know, I have to have a sequin dress to wear to a wedding, and that is, you know,
yes.
I just have to make more and more friends who are getting married all the time. That's the only way.
All the time.
That's the future for me.
Exactly. Yes. Do you want to talk about the wedding, for example?
Yes.
Because I was pretty wasted, you guys. I was so drunk, but I had a great time with. I let Lilly talk. Let's see what Lilly thought of the wedding. Lilly, your thoughts?
It was so much fun. I've not been to too many weddings, but that was like definitely a highlight of weddings that I have been to.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
Kirsten, now, yes.
And part of it was obviously because I came in as Lilly in a dress, nice sequin dress that was that was recommended to me by Maddie. But
shout out Maddie. Shout out to Maddie.
Shout out to Maddie. Oh my god. But yeah, no, that was such a fun experience. Not only because, you know, I was able to present as Lilly, but also because I was with friends. It was good company. It was a wonderful event, and I think it was just wonderful to see you and Kirsten get. I mean, renew your vows, but do that in a
yes. Too many weddings.
So many weddings. I mean, why didn't you invite me to the first two? That would have been my opportunity.
You're right. I apologize. There's so many opportunities you could have dressed up. Yes.
Yeah, but you know, it was great seeing you be able to finally have that experience with other people, with your family, with your friends. And I feel so lucky that I was able to be there for that special moment.
Yes, and I slapped your ass a lot apparently while I was drunk, so I
You
apologize,
did.
Lily.
You
That
did.
sounds pretty wasted.
Thankfully,
Cool,
you were slapping more of the padding that I was wearing. But
perfect.
yes,
I couldn't tell. It was asked to me, so that's fine. It's my
you
fault.
were a little drunk, and it was pretty
Just a
funny.
tad, just a tad. Well, we are going to do more of these in November, so
Oh my goodness,
look out for
yes.
everyone else
I am
who's
so
coming in November.
excited.
Ooh, you better dress for that. You look, and by the way, your dress today looks gorgeous. What
Oh,
are you
thank you.
wearing? What
Yeah.
is Lily wearing
So
today?
it's like a almost sheer kind of dress, and then it has like a gold, like shiny gold print on it, which is super fun. And then I am uh,
Cute.
wearing like a black belt and some thigh high boots that I have, and
Yes.
so we'll put the picture on the video. I'm sure I'll
We'll
pop it
put the
up.
photos up.
I'll pop
We
it up.
will
I'll be the one that
definitely put the photos up.
sticks it up.
Yes. This is where Lily will show her photo. She's the queen of videography, everyone.
I don't know about the
Lily,
queen,
yes,
but
the best. She's the queen. Lily. What is so many things I want to ask you because you are a main part of the podcast. I know you are in the background doing things, but I guess do you want to talk a bit about? I mean, I don't know if you want to get into relationships. What is your sexuality? What's your sexual orientation? Like, are you into men, women? Non-binary. Like, what is that? How does that apply with?
yeah. So I am attracted to women or feminine presenting people. So cis women, trans women, um, yeah, just femininity in general. Um, yeah, I mean, I have experimented a little bit with like that was kind of part of my journey. Is like, well, if I'm a cross-dresser, am I gay too? Which is just not related whatsoever. But it was something that I like thought about and did a little bit of experimenting with. Just nothing crazy though. Just like talking with people online, and yeah, I think I've landed as of right now. I'm attracted to women, feminine presenting people.
Have you had relationships where you had to have your cross dressing with other women, or has it come up, or is it something you bring up at all?
I have never been in a relationship before.
Oh, what?
Yeah, never before.
Wow.
And I think part of it was just because I was figuring myself out, and taking that step when I'm still trying to figure out me was just like it's been like a non-issue for most of my life. It's like, okay, relationships later, let me figure out this gender thing. So I've never been in a relationship before, but that is in a way a benefit because as I start to like get out there and come out to more of the world, I feel like I'm almost freed up to start looking for relationships. And I think, saying I'm gender fluid and telling people that, about Lily is going to be something that's like the first thing I do. So hopefully avoiding the entire problem of, keeping a secret from a significant other. Just getting that out in the open.
Yes. You are also super young, Lily, and we always point that out. You are one of the youngest people on our Discord, and it's really promising to see someone start so early because we do have a lot of members on our Discord or members who listen, across the Yas listeners who listen and are older, somewhat still closeted, who are very envious of you, Lily, to understand and know yourself, and even to be able to come out to family members who aren't understanding. I mean, I don't know so much about your parents, but it's really cool to see that the younger generation, and we are seeing even younger people like Joy and others who are on the Discord and just like coming out and it's like, oh, they're having positive experiences. Like this is a good sign.
Yeah, Joy is amazing. I love Joy.
Yay, Joy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from my point of view, I don't feel like I'm incredibly young. I'm 24. But yeah, I feel like, this is something that I kind of wanted to tackle. Like I said, it's like this is something that I'm just going to regret for the rest of my life if I don't try to investigate it and figure it out. And I think that was the best decision I ever made, because I mean, it kind of got me through a lot of hardship and like just questioning that I had done for years. Yeah, and just kind of saying, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see where this takes me, where my journey goes.
Oh, I'm so excited for your journey because again, we've seen your like quiet journey to like you're almost as like superstar on the podcast, right? Like you were the quiet one who didn't have a lot to say, and now you're so active. Like yes, like it's so cool to see. I don't know. I'm very proud
Yeah,
of you.
I'm
I don't
so
know if you know.
I'm so happy that we have the Discord server, because that's how like I made most of my connections with other cross dressers, transgender women, non-binary friends as well, is through Discord. One of my friends who I met online was like, "You should try Discord and join the server that I'm on." And I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to like. I was very private back then. I was like, I don't want to share too much about myself. But then I did it, and I made so many friends. I made so many connections. I met Sierra. She joined that server that I was on,
Yes.
and we met there just by randomly. Just so happened that we discovered that we lived in the same town, and yeah, it kind of built the friendship off of that. And then obviously I got connected with you through her and all the other wonderful people on the CrossYaas Discord. And yeah, it's pretty amazing to think about like how I got to where I am as far as all the people I know and the friends I've made. So yeah, Discord is amazing, and I'm glad that we have a community there for people to connect and make these friendships, because they can be really like eye opening, as far as like people's journeys go.
Yeah, in your journey, I'm just super happy and proud to. Like it's like you're talking. Like it's
I
just I
know.
always say that. Like look at you. You're like in a different room. You're not locked in your bedroom with the door closed, and like you're worried that your sister might hear you. It's just like
It's all in the
it's cool to
past.
see. I know, and you're making strides. Do you have advice for the closeted people who are listening to us or watching us like talk? Because you started, being quiet, and I don't know, it seems so cool.
Well, for the people who are like just beginning their journey, take those steps that you are afraid to take, because once you take them, you realize that it was just, most of the time it's just this fear that you've built up in your mind. Obviously, there are some places in the world where it is dangerous, it is not safe, or you could get have someone just say terrible things to you. But I think that we build that up so much in our minds as like, this is absolutely going to happen as soon as I step out my front door. And in reality, it's much less of that and a lot more of just, I don't know, for at least for me, it's a lot of just joy and happiness, is getting out there, doing things as Lilly. It's just an amazing experience. So yeah, getting out there, and you might second guess yourself, like, oh, I don't want to go out because that's too scary, or oh, I don't want to try makeup because that's too hard to learn. Take those steps, jump into them, and see where they take you, because you might end up somewhere amazing.
Like on this podcast.
Yeah,
Look everyone, it's Lily.
exactly.
It's like, whoa. Like everyone loves you, Lily. Oh my gosh, you don't even know how much everyone loves you. Like they're like, oh, Lily's like it's like really cool. Like where has she been in all her lives? I'm like, we know. She's been like the first time you open your mouth, like, oh my god, Lily talks. Like,
She
yes, and she has so
speaks.
much great things to say. I know. What? Wild, wild. Are you out to your friends? I think you might have talked a little about it on the Discord. I don't know if you talked about it.
I am not out
Your
to
friends though?
any of my friends yet, but I do have some
Okay.
people that I do want to come out to eventually. I have like my best friend who I've been friends with since second grade, is someone that I probably would come out to next. Not sure when, but I would like to come out to him because we've been friends for so long. It's kind of like there's no risk there. I mean, I'm going to come out to him and be like, okay, here's me. We're still going to be friends. You have signed this contract, this friendship contract in blood. You're linked to me for life. So I think I'll come out to him, and there might be a little bit of awkwardness, and that first bit of getting past here's this other side of me that you didn't know for the longest time. But I think that's going to be just water under the bridge. It's not going to impact our relationship in a negative way.
It's like you open Pandora's box, right? Because I think Ty has talked about it. She can't stop coming out to people. She's like, oh, I came out to this person, this person. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you'll have the same experience, right, Lily?
Yeah, I hope so. I think for some of my friends, it's like I don't feel the need to share it with them. Obviously, that might change if I decide that my journey needs to keep going. If I decide to transition, for example, that's something that I'm not going to keep a secret from my friends. But yeah, there's not a lot of friends that I wouldn't tell. And eventually, I would like to get to the point where they all know and they're all aware. And we'll see where that goes. But I'm not out to any friends yet. But yeah, and that's in the works.
That'll change tonight, I'm sure. By this week, you'll just be out to
I'm just gonna call up my friend right now.
To everyone.
Hey, by the way.
Yeah, please do it now. Do it on this video chat. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's like, hey, it came out.
A little too much pressure.
Lily, you act like that's too much pressure. Like, oh, that's too much. That's fine. I'm sure.
Okay.
Like how Maddie talked about it. I come out to work, and then she came out to work the next day, and she's like, "Hey, everyone, it was fine."
True.
Everyone at work was totally okay with it.
She was so worried just from listening to that episode, and then immediately it was like, get the message, "Hey, I came out at work," and it's like, "Oh, that did not take long at all."
Yeah, I'm sure you'll do the same thing, Lily. Or do you still have fears surrounding your gender fluidity or your cross-dressing or any of the transness? So many fears around it.
Fears as far as like what do you mean by that exactly? Like fears about where I'm going, or
all of it is. I mean, obviously we all are afraid of something, but just surrounding because you seem so much more confident in your gender fluidity. Like, look at you. You look gorgeous as hell. Like you know what to do. You've been practicing. You know what to wear. Like, are you afraid at all of anything at this point?
I guess in some way I'm afraid of how it might impact my career. Because I'm trying, obviously
Valid.
I edit these videos, but I'm actually a film student, attending a university to get a degree in film production. And Hollywood is it's very much a place where your first impression counts. Your first impression is what's going to decide whether your career extends on or if it dies. And so I guess that's something that comes to mind when I think about presenting on an everyday basis or coming out as gender fluid, as far as how that would impact my ability to get work and build my career to where I want it to be. Because right now I'm still a student, and I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to get there. But I guess that's one fear I have about the future, about being gender fluid, is that, but also I think that most places would not care at the same time. There's only a couple, maybe a few people who would throw up a barrier. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's not something that I've had to deal with yet. So it could be just, something I'm worried about for no reason. Or it could be, a real fear. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, that's something that comes to mind. And then outside of that, there's a lot of family members that I have that I don't want to come out to.
Why is that?
I have a couple family members who are they're a little bit more critical, especially about sexuality and gender. Um, like my cousin, he's dating a woman that is bisexual, and that like was the talk of the family for the longest time. For like, I mean, it was like, who cares, right? But they obviously really cared.
Right.
So that stuff like that is, I don't know, it's not a good indication for, at least to me, of like if I were to come out to them, those comments that I heard about my cousin's girlfriend, I might hear those. I wouldn't hear them, but then those same things would probably be brought up about me. And so I guess that's something that I just like. I don't want to have to deal with that at all. I mean, I might eventually have to do that, anyways, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something that I worry about. There's people I wouldn't tell in my own family. I have more family that I wouldn't tell than friends I wouldn't tell.
I mean, all your friends on the podcast are like super supportive, obviously.
Oh yeah,
They're
not
like,
no one.
yeah, so we're all for you.
Yeah, actually, most of my friends, like 99% of my friends, would be like, "Why is this? Go for it. Do you?" But like,
Yeah, like, go.
not
Like,
including
yeah.
everyone on the Discord that I've become friends with. My friends that don't know. Yeah, there's definitely more people I would tell in that group than people I would want to tell in my own family.
I mean, the hope is that I think you have enough support, not just from us, obviously, the podcast, but like your sister seems supportive. I mean, your parents maybe are on the fence. I mean, they're probably worried that you'll come out to them and they'll, it's probably like the whole, it'll look bad about on our family sort of thing. I don't
Maybe
hope
a
not, but
little,
maybe that's
maybe a little
possible.
bit, but it's not really something that I think goes through their heads.
Well, we're here for you, so
Thank you.
We'll have to worry about that. Yeah, for us as a podcast and some of the YouTubers who are probably watching this, like, oh yeah, I'll support her. Yeah, she's cool.
Something that my dad has brought up as like a fear that he has is like, oh, will this alienate you? Will this make you be alone for the rest of your life? And it's like, no, I have like hundreds of friends who would totally support me and never let me be alone. So I'm pretty confident I'll be fine.
Pretty much,
But
yeah, and it's like would you ever, I guess, introduce us to your family members? Would they be like, oh, there's a lot of you guys. There's a lot of people here.
yeah,
Like, would you ever host a CrossYaas like party at your house, and then your parents would be like, huh,
that might
I guess there's a
overwhelm them, but I would totally do it if they let me. I would absolutely say, come on over, let's have a party. I think
Yes.
my mom and dad would pass out from the shock of it at the moment. But I mean, I've talked plenty about you and my friends to them, and I want to talk more about you girls, because
Ooh.
I wanted like kind of
show them the video. You're gonna edit this.
yeah, there you go.
Show us this interview.
Yeah, I want to be able to say, like, here are my friends. You do not have to worry about them. These are not people you have to be afraid of me going and meeting in person or talking to online, right? But it's still a process, as I've said before. They're still trying to cope with the shock of it, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for them right now, to just try and figure out. So. But I do want to have all you girls over for a big party at my place, because that would be so much fun.
Yes.
Whether that's this house that I'm currently in or my apartment when I find an apartment, whenever that may be.
Yes. We are there for it. We will be there. Everyone will be at that. We will. Every time I look at you and everybody who's seen your photos, they're like, damn, you look really good there, Lilly. How important is passing privilege to do you think you have passing privilege? Is that a thing that goes through your mind? Like, are you really into it? Because clearly you pass. Your hair looks gorgeous. It's stupid how good your hair is. So,
thank you.
Just FYI.
Yeah, and it is for people who are watching, it is my real hair, watching or listening. It's real.
We hate it.
I grew it out.
It's fucking bull.
I think
Sorry.
I started, yeah, it's like 4 years I've been growing out, but As far as your question goes, I guess I don't really think that I pass. That's just something that in my head when I look at myself, it's just like it's less of like, oh, I don't pass, I'm like ugly or something like that, and more of like, well, I don't care if I pass or not because I feel good about myself. I feel happy. I feel great about seeing myself presenting in a different way. And I guess sometimes it's like, oh, that outfit didn't work, or my makeup was bad that day, or my hair looked really bad in that picture. But I think passing is not something that matters that much to me, because I feel comfortable. I feel happy just being myself. So yeah, passing, yeah, not really something that I try and focus on.
We talk about dysphoria versus euphoria. Have you ever had gender dysphoria? In your short career, short like journey right now to discover Lilly.
I would say maybe a little bit. Maybe, but it's also more of just like body positivity. Like my weight bothers me. I feel like, I need to lose weight. And that might just be
join the club.
Yeah. It's all that quarantine weight that we all put on.
Ugh,
right?
It's killing me. Yeah, I know.
It's the worst. I was like, right before the quarantine, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start eating healthy. I'm going to be exercising all the time. And then it was like, boom, let's sit inside for a year and a half. And then, all the weight started coming on. So I guess, anyways, my weight bothers me. And I guess you could call that dysphoria. And my body hair also bothers me, which is another form of dysphoria, you could say. But besides those things, I don't really have much dysphoria. I do have a lot of euphoria when I'm able to, get dressed, do my makeup, wear what I want to wear, present how I want to present. That was like, I think the first time I ever tried makeup, that was like the first moment of like gender euphoria where it just hit me. Like I really was worried about passing when I started. And I was like, I'm going to look ugly. I'm going to look terrible, blah, blah, blah. But after I first got dressed and did my makeup for the first time, it was like, okay, who cares about that? I feel great. So,
yeah, you always, when you went to the wedding, you were smiling really hard. Like it was like, yeah, you look so happy. You're also surrounded by your friends and people who really cared about you. Same with Palm Springs. When we went to Palm Springs, you seemed just so happy to just be there. I mean, it was like, this is what it's all about, right? Just being happy in your own skin, just wearing what you want to wear, just being yourself. And I just felt so happy for you and for and Billy and Ty and Sierra just to come out. And it was like, yes, this is how it should be. Like nobody was yelling at you at the wedding. Like, oh, in fact, they probably were loving you too much. It's like, oh, like everybody just wanted to be around you because it's like the energy you all give off. Like, especially just being what's filled with so much euphoria. It was just such a good thing. I don't know. And I want to see more of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that shows, I guess, when we've been able to meet in person here and also on the Discord online, because it definitely is like just a lot of happiness. I'm just feeling great when I'm dressed up or being out and being able to just be me in the world, even if it is a little scary at times. And it's like, okay, all right, I can do this. I can get out the door. I can take that first step. I can let the dogs out right before we start recording this.
Yeah, you let the dogs out. Like, it was like, oh, yay. What was your fuck it moment? I want to ask that more often. What was the fuck it moment? Like, fuck it, I'm just going to do this. I don't care. Like, what was it for you?
I think every single time I've progressed, it's been a fuck it moment. Like, obviously, the decision to buy clothes and makeup for the first time was like a fuck it. I don't want to die taking this to my grave, being worried about this my whole life. I think joining the video chats on Discord was a fuck it moment where I was just like, I don't care, whatever. I'm just going to mute myself and keep quiet. And then eventually that turned into, fuck it, I'm going to turn on my camera and turn on my microphone and just talk whatever. Who cares if they hear me? 1 second, my dogs are barking.
Yeah, good old doggies. I love it.
1 second.
Is it a mailman? Is it another dog?
My dogs bark at
What do they
like nothing. They see a light drive by and they're like,
say?
invaders. Let's make a big
Yeah.
deal. Hold on.
Aw. We want to see your dogs. Can you bring your dogs here?
Yeah.
We love doggies on the
Okay,
podcast.
1 second. They're all freaked out.
Oh.
Come on.
Aw.
Oh, I know. Oh, they are not cooperating. They're just barking.
They are not. What do you want to do with Lily moving forward? What is Lily going to be? What do you see her like journey moving forward? Does she want more public? Does she want to be a spokesperson for anything? A model for dogs walking? I don't know.
I don't know about a model, but I think that's a little too far for me. But I think the future for Lily is right now. It's getting out a little more, having more just average experiences as Lily. Like, I don't know. Going out and being with friends is the big one, obviously. Hang out with you and Sierra and Billy, Ty, Maddie when she comes down eventually.
Yes, she will.
Yeah,
We're gonna drag her here.
That's the big thing. But also, like, I want to do things like maybe I'll go to the movies as Lily. Maybe I'll go to dinner as Lily. Maybe I don't know. Going and buying groceries seems a little too just normal, but shopping for clothes, that's definitely on the list of things that I would like to do. That's kind of where I want to take Lily for now, but we'll see where that goes because, I mean, obviously I might want to start presenting as Lily in like everyday kind of situations. Like, I could present as Lily at school if I really wanted to. I feel like I'd be in a good environment for that. Working as Lily is a little harder, but it's something that could definitely be done. I mean, I edit these videos all the time dressed up. So, yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that I could be doing for a living and also presenting as Lily. And yeah, I mean, if I decide to transition and take things further, then it'll be like a completely different story and a completely different answer to the question. But I think at the moment, yeah, that's what I want to do as myself is like just get out there more, do things, just nothing like crazy, just do normal things as myself.
I mean, we're here for it. We love all the normal things. Is Lily Lily different than the boy Lily? Like, the male, or is it like the similar person, just kind of different traits, or is it, I don't know, are you basically the kindest person ever?
Well, I don't know about the kindest person ever, but I think obviously, like you said, I just feel a lot happier all the time as Lily. As my guy version, which I'm not going to say my real name, but as guy me, I feel a little more, I guess, rough around the edges, kind of just, I don't know. Yeah, just a little less approachable, maybe. I don't know. I guess I can see the differences more looking at Lily and how that's affected my personality. Just, yeah, a lot more excitedness and trying to be friendly to people and become friends with them, that kind of thing. More outgoing for sure. I think guy me is a lot more reserved. Doesn't go out, doesn't chat with too many people. My friends group is much, much, much smaller as guy me compared to Lily. So it's little differences like that mostly.
What is a Lily style? Like, what do you like to wear as Lily? Even though I've only seen you wearing sequin dresses and smacking the padding in your butt, but like, what is your style?
A little less glamorous than the sequin dresses, right? But
darn it. Okay.
I think my normal kind of outfit design is like a cute top and a cute skirt, and matching the two and just playing around with that. I have a lot of things that are more like what I'm wearing now. I have more tops than I have like dresses. But kind of a little more loose fitting and, I don't know, classy, cutesy kind of, nothing too crazy. Kind of just, I don't know, just a normal kind of outfit style that I like to wear. More everyday, not too casual.
Where do you do your most damage shopping wise? You said you have a closet full of crap.
Amazon.
Where is that? Where's that crap coming from?
Amazon mostly,
Yeah.
and recently Target. Lots of shopping at Target.
Oh.
And then I bought like a bunch of stuff from Kohl's on my birthday because I got a little birthday money and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff. So I went to Kohl's and splurged a little bit. That was fun. But yeah, Amazon is like where like at least 70% of my wardrobe comes from, and my shoes come from, and you know, all that stuff.
Let's ask about your makeup because it looks flawless. It looks really cute. What is your products? What's your routine like? I mean, you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What's on your face?
Lots of Maybelline. I wear the foundation is from Maybelline. The lip color is from Maybelline. I actually went to Sephora for the first time, like yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. And I got a new eyeshadow palette from Urban Decay, and then I bought some concealers from, it's called NARS, NARS.
Love NARS.
It's really good. I love it. I mean, I did my contouring with just the concealer, and it turned out perfect, and I love it. So yeah, but lots of Maybelline, lots of like kind of drugstore brands, because you can get away with a lot with just simple makeup that's not too expensive. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like a really high-end foundation or a really high-end, I don't know, eyeshadow is going to be a lot better than drugstore. But I think, at least for me, because I'm not wearing makeup on an everyday basis, I'm just kind of wearing it here and there whenever I can. I think that's all you need personally, because you can get away with a lot with simple, cheap brands. And then obviously if I were to be wearing makeup like every day or every other day, I would probably try and upgrade. But yeah, Maybelline has worked amazing. NYX is another brand that I absolutely love. Their lipsticks, their eyeliner. I like always recommend NYX eyeliner to anyone who asks like, oh, what product should I buy? It's like NYX eyeliner. It's amazing. Buy it. It's so affordable, and it looks great.
And how did you get so good at makeup? What did you learn? How did you learn it? And like, how much practice have you had? Because you look really good.
Thank you.
It's annoying.
So I started by I think for years and years before I even was dressing, I was watching makeup tutorials on YouTube from trans women or cross-dressers or non-binary people. I think I picked up a lot there. And then when I did my makeup for the first time, I was obviously just going step by step through, I don't know, a random video that was on YouTube. And I think a lot of it is luck, because I got my foundation color like almost perfect with the first thing I bought.
Nice.
And a lot of luck, and then just a lot of like being meticulous and taking a long time to get ready. I think today was the fastest I ever got ready, actually. And it's because I like skipped through so many steps. Otherwise, like, I don't know, spend 45 minutes on like your eyeliner alone, just getting the line perfectly straight. Or, you know, like doing your eyeshadow, that takes a long time because you're like just building up layers. But yeah, I think I got to the point that I've gotten to through a lot of luck and a lot of research and just being very careful and meticulous when I do my makeup. It is definitely something that I would hate to do every single day, because I would have like to I'd have to get up like 4 or 5 hours before I did anything, just to get ready to do anything, to just go out, right? Or I don't know. It's a process. It's something that I'm trying to like make a little faster. So today I like skipped a lot of steps. Like I skipped. I didn't put on false lashes. These are just my regular lashes. I just did concealer for my contour, and thankfully, with this new product that I'm using, it looks great. I think what I was using before, I would not have been able to do this. So I just did that really quickly, and it came out looking really good. Mm-hmm. And then I just did like, I didn't do a wing on my eyeliner, which is what I normally do. And that takes a lot of time because you're like trying to get it perfect. So this was like really quick. And I'm just going to keep trying to like keep bringing it down as far as like how much time it takes. Right. So.
Okay. Let's talk. What was the first time you ever did makeup? How long did it take when you did everything?
The first time I ever did makeup, I had a bottle of foundation and nothing else.
Okay.
And I took a paper towel and I used that to apply it to my face. Was just paper towel. Nice. And I mean, like, that was just the foundation. So it was obviously just kind of just like, oh, it's on. Cool. My face looks like a white, just a white sheet of paper that's, yeah. It just looks like, okay, whatever. I think the first time I did full makeup, though, probably took me... Well, I wouldn't have had as many steps at that point. So it probably took me 2 hours to do eyeshadow, eyeliner, foundation, contouring, blush, lipstick, that kind of thing. I think my dogs are still barking at the same light. What was I saying? Let me start over.
That's fine. So it took 2 hours for the longest when you full makeup.
Yeah.
What's the shortest time? Was that today? The shortest time you ever put on makeup?
Today was pretty short. I think I've had a shorter experience. That was a whole other ordeal, though, and I can talk about that in a bit. But I think today was definitely one of the shortest because I was like trying to rush through. It actually got done a lot faster.
And it looks good.
Yeah, thanks. I got it done a lot faster than what I was expecting because I like told you, it's going to take me like 2 hours to do, and I think I got it done in an hour.
Yeah, that's good.
But there was this one time where I did my makeup 3 times in the same day.
Ooh, nice.
And I think that was the fastest. It was the fastest I ever did like a full routine because I did it so many times that day. So this was before I had come out to my parents, and so I had the house to myself one day, and I started the makeup process. And I finished it. I got to the very end. And just as I finished, I hear the door downstairs open. And I rush and I just quickly take everything off because I'm like, oh no, someone's home from work. My day's over at this point. I take everything off, and then I hear my dad, who's come home. And he says, oh, hi, I forgot something. I'm going back to work. Goodbye. So I took everything off really quickly, only to have him say, "Oh, I'm going by." So I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do my makeup again." And at that point, I'd had so much practice from like the first round that I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it really quickly."
Yeah.
Put on foundation, did the whole works. Finished again, and just as I finished, I hear the door open again.
You need to lock that door. Jesus.
So I panicked because it wasn't my dad, it was my mom this time. So I took everything off again. I was like, okay, she's home from work. It can't be the same thing. I took everything off, only for her to say, after I just finished taking everything off, I'm going back to work. Goodbye. I just came back for lunch. That was so frustrating. So I was like, okay. I did my makeup really fast that time. I think I did it in like 45 minutes. I can spend another 45 minutes doing everything again for the third time. So I did my makeup again. But this time I didn't even get to the end because I heard the door open again.
Good God. Okay.
And it was my dad again. And he had come home from work. I think it was like at that point it must have been like he had been gone for like maybe 2 hours and he'd come back. And it was like, okay, I'm done. I have expended too much energy doing my makeup today and been interrupted so many times. So I just took it off, and I think I spent the rest of the day just sulking and being upset that
So mad.
I had spent all that time and gotten really like a really good look so quickly, only to have to like just take it all off immediately.
So now can you wear makeup at home and it's okay? Like, are you, is it like, what's the deal at your house now with your Lilliness? What's the deal, I guess, with that?
So right now, it's something that I brought up when I came out to my family. I was like, this is something I want to do. There might be days where I am going to be Lilly and you're going to see me wearing makeup and wearing a dress or wearing different clothes. And right now that's a little overwhelming for my family. So I haven't done my makeup around them before. They've talked to me about it. They're like, okay, it's too much right now. Maybe you can wait for that. And I'm willing to wait because it's also a little awkward. It's like, I don't think I'm ready to dress up and do my makeup and wear a dress around my family. That's just a little too much right now, a little overwhelming. So I'm okay with it right now, but I would like to be able to have that option in the future. So I think, yeah, in a couple months we'll see if like they become more comfortable with it, and it's something I'm going to bring up. It's like, okay, this is something that's going to happen. This is something that I'm going to be doing when I feel like I need to be Lilly, and it might be a little shocking and uncomfortable, but it's what's going to happen. So here's your warning. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at right now. I haven't been able to dress up or do anything around them, but I have been able to say, hey, I'm going to be in my room. I'm going to be spending some time dressed up. So, there's your warning.
Hopefully they don't. The fact you have to take your makeup off 3 times, like, fuck. I feel like, really? That's like 3 hours of makeup time. Like,
yeah, never having that problem again. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm doing my makeup. You're going to have to deal with it. I am not taking this off
deal
again.
with it. Just to fucking do it. Like, you're just going to have to deal with it, mom, dad. Sorry. It's just like, this is it. But, like, I think over time, your 2 hours will eventually become 1 hour, and then your 1 hour maybe become 30 minutes. Because, girls who do makeup all the time become experts and are just, like, good at it. And will do their makeup, in the car for, whatever time. Be it 30 minutes, 15 minutes, be it, like, in the car while they're parked. I don't know. Well, I want to get some time for the 3-way, so I'll end here.
Okay.
Lilly, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We have you on again. But, I end all our conversations and all the CrossYaas combos with the question of, in a perfect world of cross-dressing, sexuality, and gender, Lilly, what does that look like to you?
I think, I've listened to a lot of people answer this question. And there's so much that I've heard that I just completely agree with. So I think I would like to, I'll borrow from a lot of previous answers as far as like the general idea. But what I would like to focus on is in a perfect world, in my perfect world, I guess, I would like to have, I would like to see kids be able to feel comfortable enough with their family, with their friends, to experiment with their gender, to do things that, I guess some people now are, not as accepting of, to, experiment with gender, experiment with sexuality, to have the freedom to do that without fear, without feeling like, this is something that I have to hide. This is something that is shameful. Because I think being able to experiment when you're younger, it can really have a positive effect on your life as far as like, how your journey begins and where it goes. So yeah, I think that's what I would like to say as my answer for the question.
Yes. It's a good answer. And you're a kid, so you're a child. You're so young. And it's like, look at you living your gender life. Like, that's so cool. And we're all here for your journey. And I mean, shoot, we're super excited to see where you're going from here because it could lead to a multitude of different avenues, and we are, I don't know, we're all here for it. Lily.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Do you want to do any shout outs to your public Instagram now?
Oh, yeah.
I don't
So
know anything else public.
you can follow me on Instagram at
This is
Lily's Flight.
this where you're putting your
Yeah, I'll put it up on the
put
screen.
your thing up here.
Yeah,
No, click
only
on it.
for me.
It's
I never do this for anybody else. It's just for myself. Right.
It has your photo. It has your like LinkedIn. It has all these things. Like, God dang, Lily, jeez.
That's the power of being an editor, right?
That is the power of the editor. Yeah.
No, it's
It's all your name too. Edited by Lily, production by Lily. Like, oh gosh, it's like
the credits. The
super
credits
awesome.
will just be
Yeah.
filled with my name. But that's all right. But
it's just be all Lily.
yeah, my
it's just all-
Instagram is Lily's Flight, and that's LILLYSFLYTE. And yeah, you can follow me there. You can message me on the Discord if you're on the server. Just reach out to me. I'm always open to chat. Love to chat about all sorts of things. So just let me know.
Yes. And do you want to like shout out to the Discord and the Patreon, like why people should join the Discord? Why should people join the Patreon? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say the best reason to join the Discord is to just realize how many more people are out there who share the same experiences as you. Because that was something that was so important to me when I was beginning my journey, was meeting people who I would talk to and realize, wow, we have the exact same experiences. We think the exact same things. We have the exact same interests. It's really important to have to not get stuck in your own head, to not just feel like you're so alone and just separated from the rest of the world. If you can find people who have those same experiences, that can open up so much for you and just change your outlook on everything.
Yes. Hey, yes. From quiet to queen, we have Lily. Thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you for having me.
You're awesome. Lily will edit this, everyone, and we'll make this look pretty and do all the wonderful things.
It's like, all right, we got it done. It's time to get to work. Let's go. All right. 4 or 5 hours of editing.
Putting in the real work.
Yeah, here we go.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to edit. I mean, you edit it, and then when you're done with the audio, then send me that audio, and then I can, because I'm sure whatever you want to keep, because I would basically want to put this on just the podcast, just on there, and then I don't know, on the YouTube and see what people like.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the best way to do it.
Yes. And then that's all. Let me reach out to Maddie if she wants to do a 3-way tonight.
All right.
And yay.
All right.
Yes. Thanks, Earl. I'll be back.
Bye.
Love ya. BRB. And finally, the miscellany.
Yes!
And that was my CrossYaas conversation with Lily. Absolutely delightful conversation I had with that woman because Lily is the best. She's obviously the coolest, and again, if you want to watch this conversation in video format, don't forget to check out our YouTube page, and again, please like and subscribe. I can't say enough good things about Lily, and I especially loved that her dogs made a cameo. Because, I mean, seriously, who doesn't love dogs? Well, I guess those who are allergic. Sorry. But Lily's journey from where she started to where she is now, and I can't stress it enough, has been quite a ride. Especially for me and other members of the CrossYaas Confidential Discord. Her and I talked about it, and again, I remember just seeing Lily start off as such a quiet person when we first did our video chats earlier this year, and she would just sit there quietly, just aching to verbalize anything, but couldn't because she didn't want to alert any of her family members about Lily. But now, fast forward to today, where she's public about her Instagram page, again, Lily S. Flight, for those of you who forgot. And now she's able to just be public and come out to even my wedding reception. And I mean, seriously, yes. It's so great to see the progress she's made in just 6 months. And it's so exciting. I'm so thrilled for her and cannot wait to see where the rest of her journey takes her. But for sure, I'll be here and the rest of the CrossYaas community will be here for her as well. Love you, Lily. And again, if you, the CrossYaas listener, enjoyed Lily's story and want to share yours because, well, you haven't yet, email me, Giselle, at CrossYaas Podcast.com. DM me on Instagram at CrossYaas Podcast, or again, chat me up, or anyone on the CrossYaas Confidential Discord, which again can be found on our website, CrossYaasPodcast.com. But that's all for this week's episode. Remember, when it comes to your cross-dressing, sexuality, and or gender, no one cares. Well, as much as you do. So do whatever you want and wear whatever you want within reason. And let me know what you need so I can help you succeed. And remember, I love you. And I'll be here for you. And until next time, as always, keep it fresh, stay blessed, and remember, you're gorgeous.